Hi everyone, it's Diana Palm, the Love Witch, and tonight I'm doing an after hours video for you to talk to you about letting go. Yes, letting go of old pain, letting go of future plans, basically letting go of control. That is not such an easy thing to do. Pour yourself a glass of wine and sit down for a minute so I can talk to you about letting go and sometimes the necessity in life to let go, especially of the way that we feel things are supposed to work out. It has now been over 2 months and none of my furnishings have arrived, none of my clothes have arrived, none of my very important papers for work have arrived. In fact, I can't even get my driver's license and my tabs and registration done because all of those important documents are still boxed up with everything else I own with the movers. So let's just say I understand completely when I say that I know what you're going through when things don't work out as planned. And I know what it's like to feel up in the air and not know what's going to happen next. You can try to come up with plan B and plan C, but really, ultimately, we don't know what's going to happen yet. So while this is inconvenient, it's definitely very inconvenient to sit on my blow-up mattress for all my sessions that are on the phone. It's very inconvenient for me to just have my little laptop instead of my full desk with all my files, and I'm usually very, very organized and I don't have any of that around me. I don't have any of my crystals, my essential oils, or all my fun stuff that I like to have in my environment that just warms it up and makes it feel like home. But specifically, I don't even have a sofa. I mean, I don't have anything to sit on except for my air mattress. This is not the first time in my life that I've done without things, and I feel like it's kind of an interesting time for us collectively as we're moving through different changes in our lives with our work, with our relationships, with our vehicles, with our money status, and even in losing a lot of people. Many of you have actually lost loved ones recently, and there's this whole missing space in that area of your heart too. But there are blessings that occur when there's a big open space and nothing to fill it. The universe reorganizes and readjusts and comes up with something better than what we could have created with a plan B or a plan C. It literally shakes things up in such a way that it can bring in something so much more magnificent than what you would have ever created or hoped for in the first place. Now, when it comes to the loss of a loved one, I know that's a very different thing and that your heart will be heavy and you will be grieving. Feeling the missing energy of somebody you love is very different than just missing all your belongings. But there are blessings with that too, because it's been in those spaces of deep grief and sadness in my life where my spiritual gifts have really blossomed. It's because of my sadness and my grief that I became more sensitive to the spirit world and more aware of everything in my environment, including nature, things that people said, songs on the radio. During those times, everything in my environment spoke to me. It was as if everything, the cars, license plates, people, music, the weather, I felt connected to anything and everything in my environment. No matter how close or far, if it was in my consciousness, I felt connected to it. If I saw it, I felt connected to it. If I heard it, I would feel connected to it. And that's one of the beautiful gifts that people don't often discuss when they lose a loved one. There's so much sadness and there's so much open space that feels missing. It literally is missing the energy of that person that you love that used to fill that space within you. You could be missing the activities you did together. You could be missing just having them around you and feeling their energy in your home every day, or having conversations, even if they weren't significant, just casual, everyday conversations and feeling them with you, knowing that they were there. There's a certain comfort in that, and there's a certain ease and a feeling of home with that. So when somebody close to us dies, that's the first way that we feel it. We feel the gap. We feel the hole. We feel the missing piece. But when you have this open space in your heart And when you are experiencing this missing piece, almost as if it's a missing piece of you, because that is what it feels like, there is something very beautiful that the universe can bring in for you. It can shift your life, experiences, bring in new people. It may even have you thinking about changing some pretty big things in your life, like suddenly trying things that you never tried before, or deciding to move somewhere you've never been. You may feel more courageous or more bold or more adventurous all of a sudden. People around you might be thinking you've lost your mind, like, what is going on with so-and-so? They've changed so much. This is not who they used to be. No, and you never will be again. But that's the beauty in our soul's evolution. We will never be the same as we once were. Never. It doesn't matter how you try to hold on to that, or how you try to dress the same, or play the same, or say the same things. It doesn't fit. It was only authentic the first time you did it. But moving forward in your life, you've evolved past that. That was just somebody that you used to be. So when we lose a loved one, there really is a part of us that dies, but that part of us is still connected to our loved one in the afterlife. We're always connected to our loved ones in the afterlife. But the part of us that experiences the missingness, this is where the blessing can come in for you. Sometimes people get stuck in grief, and sometimes people rush too fast to get out of it. They push themselves, or maybe they feel peer pressure because everyone else wants to push them out of it. And I understand that, because your loved ones worry about you. They don't want to see you stay in a state of grief and despair forever. But that empty space is meaningful. It's significant. And this is when spirit can most easily communicate with you. Your loved one who passed can communicate with you. Your angels can communicate with you. Sometimes you will literally feel like you hear the voice of God guiding you, or having you shift to look at things in your life differently. In the midst of loss, in the midst of nothingness, in the midst of missing things, or having a hole, an empty space to fill, there is a divine filling of that space. And all we have to do is not try to control it, not try to push it, not try to rush out of it, but to stay there and be patient, allow it to be permeable, allow it to fluctuate. Maybe just observe it, how it's filling in. Observe how your feelings are changing, your surroundings are changing, your thoughts and feelings are changing, because this is a birth of a new you, and we don't know what that's going to look like yet. You don't know what that's going to look like yet. It's not going to look exactly like the person before this loss. It's going to look different, but it's going to take all the blessings of everything you ever had in that previous life forward with you, just changed and transformed into something maybe even more magnificent, more beautiful. So while we've all had loss, and every loss is different, I want to encourage you to sit in that empty space and not be afraid of it, not try to rush out of it too fast. Allow it to do its inner work with you. Allow spirit to speak to you through the emptiness. Allow yourself to feel that divine connection with the energy instead of the stuff or the people. You have the ability to do this. Every single individual has the ability to do this. This one thing will really change your outlook and your life moving forward. I mean, I do have a plan B in case my movers never deliver my stuff, and I have a plan C, and I have a plan D. But really, I mean, I think I just might sit here and drink my wine and chill out on my air mattress and just see what happens. Because sometimes that's all you really can do. If you know exactly what I'm talking about, give me a heart down below in the comments and tell me what kind of loss you have experienced, or what missing pieces you have experienced, or what empty space you have been experiencing. When you're sitting in that emptiness and in that loneliness and in that isolation, if you feel like you want to reach out to connect with me and have me lead you through a private session to really dig up and stir up your soul and help you really make this shift in the most dynamic way, be sure you set up a private session with me at www.dianapalm.com. If you like this video, be sure to give me a like down below in the comments, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. I can't wait to help you manifest the life and the love you deserve. Cheers. There's another change. It's not even Merlot.